Good evening, everyone. Today, my lecture is about the impact of natural and artificial light treatments on feed response and welfare indicators in commercial broilers. Chicken meat is one of the most affordable and widely consumed source of animal protein. And over the past century, we can see here from this graph that chicken consumption has exceeded beef, beef, pork, and fish, and this trend is projected to continue. And to meet up with this high demand, we can see here that chicken meat production worldwide is increasing from one year to another. And one clear example for this increase and growth is the United States. The United States is the leading producer of broiler chicken. It produces around 9 billion birds per year. So, this intensive production raises a lot of concerns regarding health and welfare of broilers. Now, let's take a closer look about factors that affect broiler health in commercial settings. According to Aviation 2018, there are a lot of key factors, and lighting is one the most overlooked. Lighting is a critical exogenous factor that affects poultry production as it regulates not only the behavioral aspect of birds but also impact their physiological process and performance. So before speaking about lighting, I would like to speak about how chicken perceive the world around them and the key feature of the vision of the chicken. Chickens have a relevant large size of eyes, and two eyes together weigh as much as the brain. So this suggests that vision is a very important resource and it's taking up a lot of computing space and energy in the brain. Chickens also have laterally placed eyes on their head that allows for 300-degree field of vision. That's quite different how we see the world, and the experts in this area say that we as a human walk into the world, but chicken walk through the world. That because their field of vision is different. And chickens also have both binocular and monocular view. We are familiar with binocular view that both of eyes are working together to create a single image, but chicken's eye can work independently. This means the left one is far-sighted, looking for the food, and the right one is short-sighted, looking for predators. Chickens also can perceive the light differently than human. They can perceive the light through retinal photoreceptor in the eye, and which gives the capacity to respond to the environment and search for the food. And also they have extra retinal photoreceptors in the brain, and this pathway play a major role in regulating reproduction, behavior and circadian rhythm and growth. In addition to that, if we go a little bit deeper, we can see that there are also some anatomical differences between the visual systems between the visual of human and the chicken. As we can see here from this picture, chickens have red, green, blue, and violet cones, so they are tetrachromatic. While humans they are missing the violet one, so this means that there is a portion of the light we as a human we cannot perceive, which is the ultraviolet one. In addition to that, the cones of the chickens have oil droplets, and these droplets is to enhance the accuracy of color discrimination. These illustrations show the light spectrum for both humans and poultry, highlighting how each sees colors differently. And if I overlaid the human spectrum over the poultry one, you can see there are two very distinct different areas, one in the yellow region, but really a big portion of their sensitivity lies in the shorter wavelengths toward the blue and the ultraviolet one. And this is very important to understand, especially when designing a lighting system for poultry, because light conditions that are optimal for human may not be optimal for chickens. In United States commercial settings, broilers are often raised under dim artificial lighting conditions ranging from 5 to 10 lux, as this approach is believed to enhance body weight gain and feed efficiency. However, research has shown that this environment has a detrimental impact on broilers' ocular and food bath health. Therefore, alternative rearing program provided by Global Animal Partnership have recommended elevated light intensity and provision of natural light. There are two key features of natural light. The first one is it comes with the presence of ultraviolet wavelengths within its spectrum, and also it comes with high light intensity than um, artificial lighting system used in commercial housing in broiler. And research have shown that ultraviolet light it can enhance visual perception and encourage more walking, and by increase this activity, this will reduce leg health problem in broilers. And in addition to that, studies also have shown that supplementing broiler with ultraviolet light can reduce fearfulness in broiler chicken. However, it's still unknown if birds receive the benefits of natural light when provided via window. Therefore, the objective of my study was assess the impact of two lighting sources, natural and artificial light, on fear response and welfare indicators. Here we're gonna jump to experimental design. Chicks were randomly assigned to one of two lighting treatments. Natural light provided via window measuring 1 feet square and supplemented by one lead bulb, or artificial light treatment provided through one lead bulb. A total of 704 mixed 6 Ross 708 were randomly allocated to 16 rooms. The stocking density was 44 birds per room, and the chicks were raised until 56 days of age. We measured fear response through two different tests. The first one was novel object test conducted on day 14 and day 35, and response was evaluated by counting the number of birds that approached the novel object at 30 seconds interval for a duration of 5 minutes. And two scoring radius were assessed. The first one was zone, we gave it a name, zone 1, which is a half a meter diameter from the object, and the second one called zone 2, and we give it a name, zone 2. And to ensure the novelty of the test, we changed the object between the two testing days. And the second test we used to assess the fear response was novel environment test. By randomly selecting 24 birds, 12 birds from each treatment, and individually placed in a testing arena, and the latency to first step, latency to first vocalization, and latency to first escape attempt was measured, and number of vocalizations and number of escape attempts were documented. And finally, we assessed welfare indicators on day 55 by evaluating 128 birds for foot bed dermatitis and hook burn. Each bird was assigned a score ranging from 0 to 5, where 0 is no lesion and 4 is a severe lesion. Also, we assessed the gait score for 128 birds, and birds were allowed to walk freely for meter and half, and each bird was assigned a score between 0 and 5. Furthermore, we also assessed latency to light test for 80 birds, and birds were gently encouraged to stand, and the time to until the bird sits down was measured. So jumping to the result, I will start first by the fear response, especially by the novel object test. And before explaining the results, I would like to explain how this graph looks like. So in x-axis, you can see zone 1 and zone 2 of the novel object, while y-axis is the number of the birds that approached novel object. We can see here that there was no significant difference between the two lighting treatments in the number of the birds that approached zone 1 of the novel object. However, birds exposed to natural light approached zone 2 more frequently than those under artificial light. We can see here for the novel environment test, there was no significant difference between the two lighting treatment on latency to first step, latency to first escape attempt, and latency to first vocalization. Here we can see also lighting treatment had no effect on number of escape attempts and number of vocalizations. And for welfare indicators, we can see here that birds raised under natural light had a lower food bed dermatitis score than birds raised under artificial light. However, no difference was found between the two treatments in Hoog-Bern score. Also, there was no significant difference between the two lighting treatments on gait score and latency to lie. So in conclusion, we can say that the addition of natural light provided by windows when raising broilers to 56 days of age did not yield a significant improvement in the fear level or the welfare measures of leg health. Some differences were found in the novel object test, and a slight improvement was seen on foot pad dermatitis scores. Future research is needed to explore the impact of natural light on poultry fear response and welfare indicators in open house system, and also to explore the impact of natural light on poultry behavior and spatial utilization in commercial poultry production settings. Thank you.